Yes, Mommy Evelyn, boys. She is finally coming to the game. She's about here, guys. And I'm sure you've seen the big, bountiful, bouncing damage that she absolutely does. You thought I was going there? Absolutely not, guys. Come on. We're not going to Coomer bait that much now, are we? Or maybe we are. Anyways, guys, today we're going to be talking about the best build for Evelyn, how you should play her, how she actually works, everything like that. Best teams, everything, guys. It's everything, okay? So go ahead and subscribe to the channel already if you thought that was really cringe, really sus, and honestly kind of got you down bad. And so without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and talk about how she works now. So Evelyn's kit can essentially be broken down to 3 separate parts. That's going to be binding seal, burning embers, and also burning tethers. And how these 3 things work is pretty simple. Your binding tether is going to work kind of how you see right here, where now you see we have like a little line attached to the enemy. That is our binding tether right here. Now, where this gets more interesting is if you look at the bar on the top left-hand corner of the screen here, or it should be in the middle of the screen now, you'll see me start gaining this meter. This is going to be our burning ember meter right here. And basically, whenever you get this up to 50% or max, you can use this meter here to get these extra stacks. Let's just go ahead and cancel that. And as you see here, now we have a burning tether stack. And you can use it again, get another burning tether stack. And what happens when she gets all of these burning tether stacks, because she can only get up to a max of 3 of these stacks, basically, whenever this happens, she will do a chain attack. She'll launch a chain attack off on the enemy. Like I said, guys, these are the 3 main things driving her kit, but let's go ahead and talk about now how you get these things up and more in detail of how these things actually work. First of all, the binding seal we mentioned earlier. This is kind of a driver of the whole kit, right? Because what this binding seal is going to be doing is, first of all, playing into your core passive. Because whenever you're entering binding seal, it's going to be giving her a crit rate increase of 25%. This buff will be retained for 10 seconds after you use the binding seal on the enemy, which we will explain in a second here, so stick with me. But not only this, guys, this is also going to allow her to do a special follow-up attack on the enemy if binding seals on an enemy. So let's kind of explain how all the ways you can get binding seal. So number 1, guys, you can use an special attack here. Look, we have binding seal on the enemy now, and it's attached to the enemy. Now, this binding seal does do one other thing as well. And if you hold down the EX special attack, you will be exploding the enemy with it as well. And then obviously, if you keep holding through, we put another one on the enemy. Another thing the binding seal set allows you to do, guys, is whenever you have it on the enemy, if you swap offers, she'll actually be going in and then exploding the enemies as well, which takes binding seal away. But you do have to realize that she still does have that binding seal up for an extra 10 seconds, which means she does have the crit rate up for 10 extra seconds on top of that. So that does give you more crit rate on top of that. And one final way of getting binding seal, guys, is literally by doing your normal basic attack chain like this. After you do your basic attack chain, you'll see then now everyone's back in the binding seal state. Now, your burning tethers actually does play off of your EX special attack as well, and just special attack. So what you can do with this, guys, is hold down the EX special attack. You'll be using some of your burning embers here, as you can see in the top left corner, and then it'll be giving us 1 extra stack of our burning tethers. Now, guys, let's go ahead and hop into what the additional ability and chain attack does, because they do play hand in hand with each other. Whenever you have a stun or support character on the team, which is just about every single team you would run her on, you're going to be increasing her chain and ultimate damage by 30%, and when Evelyn's crit rate is over 80%, the damage multiplier of her chain and ultimate attack is going to be increased by another 125% of the original value. So, guys, she is getting massive value from, first of all, having 80% crit rate, and also massive value to her ultimate and chain attack move, which is the main crux of how she's doing her damage, like we've mentioned so many times. But you might ask, what does the ultimate attack do, guys? Well, that's easy. She does this right here. She throws her fucking jacket off. My God, how hot. Her boobs maybe shake a little bit there. Anyways, oh my God. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, they shake a little bit. And what this is going to be doing, though, guys, the biggest part of this, actually going to be giving you 1 tether basically all the time, guys. So as you can see, she has 3 tethers. We use a chain attack there, and she still has 1 tether. So you really want to get to her ultimate as fast as possible, because it will be enabling you to actually get these burning tether stacks a lot quicker. As you can see, we have it again just like that. Also, guys, I mean, look at the physics they added in with these bad boys, too. Oh my God, dude, why do they do that so much? They jiggle. Hey, guys. Look, I didn't even know the enemy spawned. I was staring at her too hard. Oh, that jiggle is insane. But with that being said, and seeing how insane the jiggle is, you know what else is insane, guys? Her teammates. Yeah, guys, that's even more insane than the jiggle, right? Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about her best in slot teams. Now, starting off with the obvious best in slot option for Astra. Astra, she is the bodyguard for Astra, guys. Astra is a support character, so it plays directly into what her additional ability does, because Astra also enables the quick assist and extra chain attacks and stuff like that with her ultimate move, and just her whole kit in general really plays into what Evelyn does. So, best match made in heaven for Evelyn is going to be Astra, hands down. You can't get really better than that, but you also know what you can't really get better than another character that really helps out with quick assisting as well, which is going to be lighter. Yes, guys, lighter does play a lot of a quick assist and stuff like that, but not only this, guys, he's also going to be bringing the fire res down on enemies and giving you a damage increase for your fire damage as well, which all still plays with Evelyn too. So this is a stunner and a support in the team, should both be activating Evelyn's additional ability here. So that's all around really good. That is her best in slot team, but that's not to say that's her only team, right? Because she does have other options outside of this, especially if you want to go a really free-to-play route, which is probably what honestly, guys, I'm not gonna be doing that. I have lighter and her. Let's be honest, I'm a fucking whale. Anyways, a fucking L, guys. Anyways, if you don't have lighter on your account, if you didn't pull Astra on your account and you only had Evelyn on your account, the best team that I could recommend to you guys would be a team with Nicole and Anby. Yes, guys. Anby is that bitch, okay, guys? Well, when I say she's that bitch, I mean that she's part of the Cunning Hairs, so that helps. And then she's the only free-to-play stunner on the team. That's what I should say. But yes, this is gonna be her completely free-to-play team, guys. As we all know, guys, Anby is a dedicated breaker. She's just gonna be on the field for the most time, going through and breaking enemies and stuff like that. We know you can get off-field damage with the likes of Evelyn as well by putting that binding seal on enemies. She comes and explodes them, and obviously you have Miss Anby come in there and start stunning the enemies. But where Nicole plays a really integral role out here is actually quick assisting back to Evelyn and giving defense shred on the enemy, so you're doing even more damage. Because let's be honest, guys, she's gonna be critting almost every single attack if you have her built the way I'm recommending building her today. But with extra defense down on top of that is going to be absolutely massive. She has very low on-field time as well, so you're going in every once in a while, popping your skill off for a couple seconds and then swapping into Evelyn and then doing some massive damage to the enemy. You really couldn't ask for a better free-to-play team for her, because she really does play so well off just assisting onto the field. These are the two main teams I wanted to bring up, so let's go ahead and bring up some other options you can run. For that support role, guys, you can obviously run Caesar on the team as well, and you can run Lucy as well. Now, I know that Caesar's a tank, but the big thing with Caesar is she provides a shield for you, first of all, which will just give you some extra sustainability, but it'll also be giving you a pretty nice damage buff as well, and putting a debuff on the enemy, so that's really nice there. And you can complement this pretty well with either an additional breaker on the team or an additional support unit on the team as well, whether that be Nicole, Astra, Lucy, like whoever it might be, as long as you have one support or one breaker on the team, one stunner on the team, you will be fine to activate her additional ability, which is so good for her. Now, hopping into the other options, you could run in the other role, like the stunner role, right? You could technically replace the stunner for someone like Colada, right? I think Colada is a pretty decent option because Colada will be buffing the amount of chain attack damage you do, and that's what her whole damage is revolved around, really, is doing chain and ultimate attack. So her chain attack damage will benefit from this, which benefits the main majority of her damage. Secondly, guys, you can run Chingy here. Chingy is just really good. Chingy is going to be on the banner when you're actually going to be pulling for her anyway, so you might pull for both of them, get both of them, and you want to use both of them. Bernice actually opens the door to running more disk drives on her, or giving her more options to disk drives, because what Bernice is going to be doing is burning the enemy. This actually gives you better access to the Inferno Metal set, meaning you can get a juicier buff from this set if you have Bernice on the team that is constantly burning the enemy over and over and over again. I think this could be a really good option on the team with her as well. Maybe run this with a lighter so you get the extra res down for fire, and then increase res as well. So I think this could be a very solid team too. But that's really all that I want to touch on as far as teams go now. So now we can go ahead and hop into what her best in slot W engines are, what her best in slot weapon is, whatever you want to call it, right? So her best in slot option here is going to be her signature W engine, guys. This will be giving her an increased crit rate dish off the base, and then on top of this, guys, it'll be giving her increased crit damage. Whenever she enters the field using a chain attack or ultimate, she'll be getting 1 stack of heartstring. For each stack of heartstring, her chain and ultimate attack damage will be ignoring 12.5% of the enemy's fire res. This can stack up to 2 times, meaning you can ignore up to 25% of the target's fire res. This will last for 30 seconds, so this is hands down her best in slot W engine, and gives her crit rate, which she wants at least 80% of, and then crit damage as well to start stacking on that juicy damage, and then fire res down. So if you pair this with a lighter as well, I mean, dude, you're doing massive amounts of damage with this W engine. Now, her second best in slot option, if you've been playing since the previous patch, then you'll be good with this. If you haven't, then I fear you might be cooked, because her second best in slot option is actually a free-to-play event W engine called Mercado Desire. Now, the reason why this is so good, guys, is because it gives you a base of 20% free crit rate, which we know she needs to hit a threshold to actually activate her kit. Secondly, guys, whenever she uses an EX special attack or a chain attack and hits an enemy with it, you'll be increasing her earn attack by 9.6% for 8 seconds. And then on top of this, guys, if the enemy is under an attribute anomaly, they'll be getting an extra 9.6 attack on top of this. So, I mean, like, the special ability there is okay, right? Like, it will be giving you a pretty easy, like, attack increase there. And if you're running over, like, a Bernice and you're putting fire on the enemy a lot, then this is also going to be pretty easy to hit. But like I said, the biggest thing here is going to be getting that increased crit rate. But if you didn't play during that patch and you don't have that W engine, then Cannon Rotor will be another good option for you to have, because Cannon Rotor also gives you increased 20% to your crit rate. This will be a Battle Pass W engine, so that means you would need to spend money on the game. This will be also giving you increased increased attack as well. And whenever you land a critical hit on the enemy, which you should be doing a lot of, you'll be doing a massive like damage proc off on the enemy whenever you do this every 8 seconds. So overall, this is just a pretty good W engine 4, but let's go ahead and talk about the best free-to-play option. And that's going to be Street Superstar. Now, why do I recommend this one, guys? Now, this doesn't give you crit rate, okay? But what this does give you is it gives you attack, first of all, which is still pretty good to have on her. On top of this, guys, whenever a squad member launches a chain attack, you'll be getting 1 charge stack up to 3 times. Whenever you launch your ultimate, you'll consume those charge stacks and increasing that damage by 72%. Now, knowing that her whole kit, literally, if you hold down her enhanced basic attack after you have 3 burning tethers, this is a chain attack. That's all that I necessarily have to say about the W engines here. Let's go ahead now and talk about the part you've probably been waiting for. The best in-slot disk drives. Yes, gamers. Before we talk about that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Just hit it right now. Might as well, right? You've been to this point in the video, or maybe you got scammed because you wanted to know what the disk drives were this early, and you didn't watch the rest of the video on how to actually play her. Maybe you're a gigabrain like that. I don't know. But subscribe to the channel anyways. Fuck it, guys. Come on, guys. We got to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. Please, God, let us hit it. Oh, my God. Sorry, I didn't mean to go full Nikocado avocado on you. Anyways, guys, let's hop into the best disk drives now. Starting off with our best 4-piece set, which is going to be the 4-piece Woodpecker Electrode. Now, the reason I recommend this set, guys, is because at a 2-piece, it gives you an inherent 8% crit rate increase. On top of this, guys, if you land a critical hit on the enemy with a basic attack, dodge counter, or EX special attack, you'll be increasing the wearer's attack by 9% for 6 seconds. So, I mean, you'll practically, with how she's built today, be hitting this at all times, so you don't even necessarily have to even worry about getting any downtime on this, because she should be pretty close to 100% crit rate with what we're going to recommend today. So overall, this is hands down the best in slot 4-piece that you can run. Alternatively to that, guys, if you had a Bernice on the team, and it was very easy for you to get fire anomaly off on the enemy, depending on what team you're running around, Inferno Metal is going to be that set for you guys, because first of all, it increases your fire damage by 10%. On top of this, guys, whenever you're hitting a burning enemy, you'll be increasing the crit rate by 28% as well. So if you're really struggling in that crit rate department, this could help you get to that marker, but you do have to have burned enemies, so you would realistically want Bernice on the team and then have not as good of a build into crit right here. This would allow you to actually run crit damage on the body versus what I'm going to recommend, which is crit rate. But there are other 2 set pieces you can run. Obviously, you would always run a 2-piece Woodpecker Electro because it does give you free 8% crit rate. I think always hands down you would run at least a 2-piece Fanged Metal. They'll also be giving you at least 10% extra fire damage. But there is one more final 2-piece I could recommend, and this could be using a 2-piece, 2-piece, 2-piece. That's going to be a 2-piece Branch and Blade. Now, why? Because this is actually going to be increasing the amount of crit damage you do. So you get crit rate, crit damage, and then fire damage increase. I think this could be a very decent set to run, especially if you didn't have a 4 full-piece set farmed out for her, and maybe you just have some pieces here and there to use on her, right? So this is going to be hands down one of her best sets as well. So with the sets out of the way, let's go ahead and now talk about what the recommended stats you want to be getting for her are and what those numbers kind of look like. So hopping into those main stats first, guys, on the 4-piece, you want to be getting crit damage or crit rate. For the 5-piece, it's going to be fire damage percentage, and for the 6-piece, it's going to be attack percentage. Now, the reason why I put crit damage over crit rate here, I do understand you have to hit an 80% threshold to actually activate her ability, but this is actually not too hard to get, because if you consider not running this crit rate chest here, which is 24% crit rate, as you can see here, guys, you only need about 4 crit rate rolls, and if you're running everything else like we mentioned in today's video, you'll only be needing a 9.6 additional crit rate to get over that 80% margin. Literally all you need for this, guys, is 4 pieces with crit rate on them. You don't even need to roll into them at all, just 4 pieces with crit rate on them. You're gonna hit this margin super easily, and that's not even mentioning the pieces that have rolled additionally into crit rate. But if you do decide to run the crit rate main stat, guys, all you'll be needing in substats is going to be around 2 sub rolls into crit rate, so you'll be hitting 100%. And with that being said, guys, we can kind of go ahead and hop into her recommended substats now, which is crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage. On the crit rate, and this is going to change depending on what you have equipped on her, honestly, guys. Basically, the easiest way I can break this down to you guys is the maximum crit rate that you're going to be wanting before entering battle is 75 here, because she does give herself 25% whenever she has binding seal up. So if you have anything over 75% here before entering battle, you will be extremely overcapping that amount. But the lowest minimum crit rate you can hit to actually get the 80% margin is going to be 57% crit rate here, guys. So you want to make sure you're anywhere in between 57% crit rate and 75% crit rate, so make sure you're maximizing this buff. Now, as far as that crit damage notice goes, honestly, get as much as you can. Literally just get as much as you can. 144 is the bare minimum I would recommend, but obviously go beyond that if you can. Anyways, guys, that's really all that I have to recommend today on these sub and main stats. Like, literally get your crit rate in between 57% and 75%. You're going to be absolutely golden to go, but don't go an inch over that 75% margin there. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. And are you going to be getting Evelyn? Are you pulling Evelyn? I'm assuming since you're watching this video before she comes out, you're getting Evelyn, right? Surely, right? Or maybe you're watching this video as you have Evelyn. How's she been working out for you guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one later. Bye-bye.